Welcome to our deep dive today. We're going to be talking all about fluency. It's not just about knowing a ton of words, right?
Right.
It's about how you use them.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, you could have all these amazing ingredients, but if you don't know how to cook, what good are they?
Totally. And I think a lot of English learners, kind of, they hit this wall where they have a lot of vocabulary, but they haven't quite mastered making it sound natural.
Exactly.
And that's where I think these 22 power words really come in.
Okay, so before we jump in, for anyone new to this deep dive, what exactly are these 22 power words?
Well, they're, I guess you could say like little linguistic shortcuts to sounding more fluent and natural.
Okay.
And the interesting thing is you probably already know most of these words. It's not about learning new vocabulary. It's about understanding how native speakers actually use them.
Yeah, like those subtle things that you don't always pick up in a textbook, right?
Exactly. It's like having this, secret code to unlock more fluent English.
I like that. A secret code. All right, let's crack the code then. What's our first power word?
Let's start with actually.
Okay, actually.
Now, on the surface, this one seems pretty straightforward. Like you're correcting someone. Or maybe you're emphasizing a point.
Right.
But it can do so much more than that.
Okay, how so?
Well, think about your tone of voice. If you say it really gently, maybe with a smile, it can be a way of disagreeing politely.
Oh, that's interesting.
But then if you say it in a more sharper tone, it can sound almost like a challenge.
Huh. So it's all about how you use it.
Yeah. It's context.
Context is everything.
It's context. It's your tone. It's so subtle.
Yeah, those little nuances. I like it. So the source material actually had a good example about using actually to gently correct someone. Like imagine you're at work and a colleague gets the meeting time wrong. How would you use actually there?
Oh, that's a great example. Yeah, you definitely don't want to sound like a know-it-all in that situation.
Right. Got to be careful.
So it's got to be delicate. Maybe you could say something like, actually, I think the meeting's at 2, not 3.
Oh, yeah.
Just like a little suggestion.
Yeah. And almost questioning yourself a little bit so it's not so direct.
Exactly.
Okay, very cool. So actually, definitely a power word. What's next?
All right, let's move on to one that I bet you hear all the time. Apparently. Yeah. This one's all about conveying information that you've heard from someone else.
Secondhand information.
Secondhand, exactly.
Okay.
And, you're not necessarily saying whether it's true or not.
Oh, yeah. I can see that.
This is what I've heard.
I was going to say, it's like you hear it on the news all the time. Apparently, there have been new developments, like that.
Totally.
And it's kind of like, it almost makes it more intriguing.
Yeah.
But you have to take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, you're not getting the full picture, but it's enough to be like, interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder what's going on there.
Yeah. It makes you want to find out more. But I guess that's a good tool for journalists then.
Oh, absolutely. They can't, report everything as fact, especially when things are still developing.
Right.
So apparently lets them stay neutral while still keeping people informed.
It's a good way to hedge, I guess.
Totally.
Okay. So apparently news, gossip, all that good stuff. What about in everyday conversations, though?
Yeah.
How do we use it?
Well, I think it's great for those situations where you maybe want to share some information, but you don't want to fully endorse it.
Oh, okay. So sensitive topics, maybe?
Yeah, apparently they're moving, but I don't know the details.
Right.
Something like that.
So it's almost like you're dipping your toe in the water.
Exactly.
Okay, I like that.
Without jumping in head first.
Huh.
So I'm curious, how could you use apparently today? What little piece of information could you spice up with that word?
That's a good question. I'll have to think about that. I'm not sure I have any juicy gossip to share right now. But we do have more power words to cover. What's next?
Okay, let's talk about basically.
Basically. All right, I use this one all the time. What's so special about it?
Well, think of it as a way of simplifying things.
Yeah.
Like you're taking a really complex idea and you're boiling it down to its essence.
Yeah. Getting to the heart of the matter.
Yeah. Those movie trailers that try to sum up the whole movie in one sentence?
Right. It's a love story, but with a twist. That kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's not just for movies. You could use it to talk about your job, your hobbies, really anything.
And it forces you to really think about what's important.
Totally. It's a great way to get clear on your message. So what would your basically statement be about your work or maybe even your philosophy on life?
Ooh, that's deep. My basically statement on life. Well, I'd have to think about it for a while. But it is a good exercise, like you said, to really boil it down to the essentials.
Yeah. And speaking of boiling things down, how about we tackle a word that gets misused a lot? Literally.
Oh, literally. Yeah, that one can be tricky.
Can be tricky. Because we all know it means something is actually happening, right?
Like in the true sense of the word.
Exactly. But somewhere along the way, people started using it for emphasis, even when things aren't actually true.
Right, like I'm literally dying of laughter.
Exactly. No one's actually dying.
No, hopefully not.
So why do we do that? I mean, I do it too sometimes. It's like we want to make our words as strong as our feelings, I guess.
I think there's also that kind of generational thing, like it's become almost slang in a way.
Yeah, for sure. It's definitely evolved. And, some people really hate it. They think it's like ruining the English language.
Right.
But others say language is always changing, so it's not a big deal.
It's a debate.
It is a debate. But no matter what side you're on, it's good to be aware of how you're using it.
Yeah, especially if you're writing something formal or in a professional setting.
Definitely.
Okay, good advice. Literally, use it wisely.
Use it wisely. Okay, now let's move on to a word that can make you sound really smart. Nevertheless.
Ooh, nevertheless.
Yeah.
I like that one. It sounds so sophisticated.
It does have a certain elegance to it, doesn't it?
It does. But how would you actually use it in a sentence?
Well, think of it as a fancy way of saying but. Like, it connects two contrasting ideas.
Oh, okay.
Our source had a good example, something like, it was raining, nevertheless, we went hiking.
Oh, I see.
So it's acknowledging the rain, but saying, hey, we still did it anyway.
So it shows determination.
Determination, yeah. Like, we're not going to let a little rain stop us.
I like it. I'm going to try using nevertheless today. See if I can sneak it into a conversation.
I think you should. See how people react.
It's like a little challenge for our listeners too, right? See if you can swap out but for nevertheless today.
Exactly.
Make your English sound a little fancier. All right, what's next on our list?
Okay, how about meanwhile?
Meanwhile. Okay, what does that one do?
Well, this one's all about things happening at the same time. Like, imagine a news report.
Okay.
And they're jumping back and forth between different stories. They might say something like, the Prime Minister is meeting with world leaders. Meanwhile, back at home, protests are continuing.
Oh, yeah. It creates that sense of like everything's happening all at once.
Exactly. It's very dynamic. And it keeps people hooked.
Yeah, you don't want to miss anything.
Right. But, it's not just for news. We use meanwhile all the time in everyday life.
Yeah, I think so.
Just to add a little detail or context, like,
Yeah.
I was working on my report. Meanwhile, my cat decided to take a nap on my keyboard.
Oh, I like that.
Something like that.
It's a good way to add a little humor too, right?
Exactly. So how about you try it?
Yeah.
I'll start a sentence and you finish it.
Yeah.
Okay. I was trying to meditate.
Meanwhile, my brain was planning my entire week.
Perfect.
See, I told you I was good at this.
You are. You're a natural. All right. Ready for another one?
Hit me with it.
Okay. This one is thus.
Thus. I have to admit, that one sounds a little, I don't know, stuffy to me.
I know what you mean. It does sound a bit more formal.
Yeah.
But it can be really effective. It's all about cause and effect.
Okay.
Like, A plus B equals C.
Right.
Thus is kind of like that.
So a very direct link.
Yeah.
No ambiguity.
Exactly. Like, she didn't study for the test, thus she failed.
Oh, yeah, I see. Straight to the point.
Straight to the point.
Yeah.
But you know what? Sometimes even in casual conversations, that directness can be really helpful.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like, if you're explaining something to a friend and you want to emphasize the consequence, you could say, he skipped work to go to the beach, thus he got fired.
Oh, okay.
It adds a little drama.
Yeah, I like that. Thus is making a comeback in my book. Okay, what else do we have?
Okay, how about in other words?
In other words. Now that one feels really helpful. Like it's almost like you're rescuing the listener if they got a little lost.
Yeah, it's all about rephrasing, like finding another way to explain something.
Yeah, sometimes you got to try a few different ways to get the point across, right?
Absolutely.
Because sometimes our first explanation is a little too, I don't know, complicated or maybe too vague.
Yeah, exactly. And in other words, lets you break it down and make it really clear.
Okay, so like instead of saying he's not interested, you could say he's not interested. In other words, he's just not that into you.
Perfect. Yeah. It's like you're leaving no room for misinterpretation.
It's the truth bomb.
It is. All right, so your turn. How could you use, in other words, to clarify something in your life? What concept or idea needs a little rephrasing?
That's a good one. Might have to think about that one for a minute. We are uncovering some deep stuff here.
We are. We are. But, language is all about exploring those depths.
That's true. Okay, I'm ready for our next power word.
Okay, let's get ready for a little mental tug of war with this one. On the other hand.
Ooh. On the other hand, I feel like that one is all about like looking at both sides of something.
Exactly. It's all about comparisons.
Yeah.
Like, presenting two different perspectives.
Okay.
Our source material had a good example. I love living in a big city. On the other hand, the cost of living can be astronomical.
Oh, that's so true.
Right.
You get the good and the bad.
Exactly. It's acknowledging that complexity.
Because life is rarely just black and white, right?
It really isn't. And that's what's so great about, on the other hand, it allows us to embrace that gray area.
Yeah. To show that, hey, there are multiple perspectives. It's not just one way or the other.
Exactly. So tell me, what two things could you compare using on the other hand? What's something you love but also has a downside?
That's a good question. I mean, there's so many things, right? Okay, how about this? I love trying new things. On the other hand, there's something really comforting about the familiar.
That's perfect.
Yeah. It's a constant battle.
It is a battle we all face.
The old push and pull. All right, what's next on our power word list?
All right, let's talk about a word that just screams determination. Regardless.
Regardless, okay.
Yeah, this one is for when you've made up your mind,
Yeah.
you've made a decision, and nothing's going to stop you.
It's like, I'm doing this no matter what.
Exactly. It's like a shield against doubt. Regardless means no matter what.
Okay.
In spite of anything.
Our source actually gave the example. We're launching this products regardless of the competition. Like, that's a bold statement.
It is. It shows you're not afraid.
It's powerful.
It is powerful.
It's almost a little bit defiant,
Yeah.
Like, we're doing this our way.
Exactly. And, regardless isn't just for big decisions like that. You can use it in everyday life, too.
Oh, okay. How so?
Like, I always make time for my morning run, regardless of how busy I am.
Yeah. It shows your commitment.
It does. It shows what's important to you. So what's something you're committed to, regardless of any obstacles?
Another good question. That's a lot to think about.
It is. It's about figuring out your priorities. But, that's what these power words do.
Yeah, they make us think a little deeper about, well, everything.
Exactly. Okay, ready for one more?
Absolutely. Lay it on me.
All right, let's talk about bridging the gap between now and later with in the meantime.
Oh, in the meantime. Okay. I feel like that one's all about like making the most of the present moment while you're waiting for something.
You got it. Exactly. It's like, yeah, you might be waiting for something, but that doesn't mean you have to just sit around and do nothing.
Right. It's about being productive or
Okay.
even just enjoying the wait,
Totally. Like our source had the example. The food will be here in 20 minutes. In the meantime, let's catch up.
Oh, yeah. I like that.
It turns a boring wait into a chance to connect.
Exactly. And you could use it for smaller things too, like I'm waiting for the laundry to finish. In the meantime, I'll clean the kitchen.
Exactly. It's about those little pockets of time.
Those in-between moments.
Yeah, that we often just waste.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, encourages us to use them wisely.
So I guess the question is, what will you do in the meantime?
What will you do?
Ooh, that's a cliffhanger.
I know, right?
We'll have to find out in part 2.
Stay tuned.
All right, so we're back with more power words, and I'm excited to see what other linguistic gems we can uncover. What do we have next?
Okay, let's talk about a phrase that's perfect for wrapping things up. At the end of the day.
Oh, at the end of the day. I feel like I hear that one a lot, especially when people are getting really serious about something.
Yeah. It's like you're saying, look, we can talk about all the details and stuff, but here's the bottom line.
Yeah, it's like getting to the heart of the matter.
Exactly. It's about what really matters most.
I was going to say, our source mentioned how often you hear it when people are talking about their strong beliefs or opinions.
Oh, totally. Yeah. It's like, this is where I stand.
This is what I believe.
Exactly.
The powerful phrase.
It is powerful. And, it's not just for opinions either. You can use it to talk about like limitations or, just things that are true no matter what.
Okay. Like what?
Like, we can try all these different marketing strategies, but at the end of the day, it's the quality of the product that matters.
Right. It's like a reality check.
It is a reality check.
Okay. At the end of the day.
Yeah.
Got it. What's next?
Okay, how about a phrase that encourages us to be a little more open-minded? Let's talk about to be fair.
To be fair. Okay, I feel like I use this one a lot too, especially when I'm trying to see things from someone else's perspective.
Exactly. It's all about balance and just being objective.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're acknowledging that, hey, maybe there's another side to this story.
Right. Even if you don't necessarily agree with it.
Yeah.
Like our source had this example. To be fair, she was under a lot of pressure at work.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one. So even if her actions weren't great, you're saying, hey, there were reasons.
Yeah, there's context.
There's context. And it's important to remember that.
It humanizes things, right?
It does. It reminds us that we don't always have the full picture.
And to be fair, isn't just about excusing behavior. Sometimes it's about highlighting the positive, even if you're not a huge fan of something.
Yeah, totally. Like, to be fair, this new software does have some cool features, even though I prefer the old version.
Yeah, you're finding that silver lining.
Exactly.
All right, to be fair. It's a good one. What's next on our list?
Okay, let's talk about a phrase that's all about explanations and, giving reasons. The thing is.
Oh, the thing is. I feel like that one is setting you up for something. Like, it creates a little bit of suspense.
It does. It's like you're saying, okay, listen up, here comes the important part.
Yeah, it's like, here's the reason why. It's a good way to be direct, but also, not rude.
Right. You're not just saying no. You're explaining why.
Like, our source had the example, the thing is, I'm not really comfortable with that idea.
Perfect. Yeah, that's a great way to use it.
And you could use it in a more formal setting, too, right?
Oh, totally.
Like, the thing is, I don't think this aligns with our company's goals. Something like that.
Exactly. It's professional, but still gets your point across.
Okay, the thing is, I like it. What do we have next?
All right, now let's tackle two words that are often used interchangeably, but they actually have slightly different meanings. Kinda and sort of.
Oh, kind of and sort of. Okay, I'm intrigued.
Yeah, they seem so simple, but they can really change the way something sounds.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it like this. They kind of soften things.
Okay.
Like they make things less absolute.
So, like, instead of saying, I'm tired, you'd say, I'm kind of tired.
Exactly. It's a subtle difference.
But it does make it sound less intense.
It does.
Like, you're not totally exhausted, but you're getting there.
Yeah. And sometimes it's useful to be less intense.
Right.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Like, if you're not sure how someone's going to react to your opinion, you might say, I kind of liked that movie, instead of, I loved it.
Exactly. It's like you're leaving room for other opinions.
You're not being too forceful.
Exactly. And sometimes kind of and sort of can even express uncertainty,
Okay.
Like, I'm kind of thinking about going to that concert, but I haven't decided yet.
Right. You're not fully committed. It's like you're still exploring the idea.
Totally. So those little words, they're subtle,
They are.
but they pack a punch.
They do. All right. What else do we have?
Okay, let's talk about a phrase that's all about seeking connection. You know what I mean?
Oh, you know what I mean? I use that one all the time. It's like you're checking in with the other person.
Yeah. It's like you're making sure they're following along.
Yeah.
And that you're both on the same page.
Exactly. It creates that sense of like, we're in this together,
We are. It's a shared understanding.
Yeah. I was going to say, our source pointed out how often we use this in casual conversations.
Oh, yeah. Especially with friends. It's like you're saying, I hope I'm making sense.
I hope you get where I'm coming from.
Exactly. But sometimes, you can use it strategically too.
Oh, okay. How so?
Like if you're telling a story and you're not sure if people are finding it funny, you can throw in you know what I mean?
It's like, are you still with me?
Yeah. You're checking their reaction. It's subtle. Okay, ready for our last power word.
Yes. Bring it on. What is it?
All right, our final word is one that can be used in so many ways. Come on.
Come on. Okay. I feel like that one depends a lot on your tone of voice.
Oh, it totally does. It can be encouraging. It can be exasperated. It can even be like playful.
I know, right?
It's all about how you say it.
Our source had some good examples like, come on, you can do it, versus, come on, don't be ridiculous.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Totally different vibes.
It's amazing how much meaning those two little words can carry.
It's all about that unspoken message, that subtext.
Yeah, the things we don't say out loud, but we still communicate. Like, imagine you're trying to convince a friend to do something they're not so sure about. You can say, come on, it'll be fun.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It's like a gentle nudge.
It is. It's persuasive. And, I think that's what really makes someone sound fluent. It's that ability to use language in subtle ways to connect with people.
Yeah, it's not just about knowing the words. It's about knowing how to use them to get your message across.
Exactly.
All right, so we've covered a lot of ground here today. We've explored 22 power words that can really elevate our English fluency.
We have. And the key takeaway here is that fluency isn't about being perfect. It's about trying things out, being willing to make mistakes.
Yeah, it's about having fun with language.
Exactly. And our source material really emphasizes that. Like, don't just listen to us talk about these words, go out there and use them. Yes, put them into practice, make them your own.
Exactly. That's how you really learn.
So we have a little challenge for our listeners. Pick one of these 22 words that really resonated with you and see if you can use it in a conversation today.
I love that challenge.
Yeah.
And don't be afraid to get creative with it.
Exactly. The more you practice, the more natural it will become.
It will. And, it's not just about these 22 words. It's about being curious about language in general.
Yeah. Paying attention to how people use words.
And don't be afraid to experiment.
Exactly. Now, before we wrap up, I want to take a moment to just appreciate the power of language. It really is a remarkable thing when you think about it.
It is. It's how we connect, how we share, how we make sense of the world.
And these 22 words we've talked about today, they're like, little tools that can help us use language even more effectively.
They are like little keys to unlock even more possibilities.
So as we come to the end of this deep dive, I encourage you to keep exploring the magic of language. Keep learning, keep experimenting, and most importantly, keep having fun with it.
Beautifully said.
Thanks for joining us. It's amazing, isn't it, how we use language every single day, but we don't always stop to think about how powerful it really is.
It's true. It's like we take it for granted until we really start, digging into it.
And then you realize, wow, there's so much more to it than just, stringing words together.
Exactly. There's like this whole hidden world of meaning and nuance.
And these 22 words we've talked about, it's like they've given us a glimpse into that world.
Yeah. They're like, little secret weapons.
For sounding more fluent and confident.
Exactly.
And the best part is, it's not just about passively learning them, it's about actively using them.
And totally, like our source material really stressed that point. You have to put them into practice.
It's one thing to understand the concept, but it's another thing entirely to actually use them in your own conversations.
It's like, reading about how to ride a bike versus actually getting on a bike and riding it.
Exactly. You can't learn to swim by just sitting on the sidelines, right?
Yeah.
You got to jump in the water.
You jump in. And you might, splash around a little bit at first.
Yeah, you're going to make some mistakes.
You will. But that's part of the process.
That's how you learn.
That's how you learn. So I guess, what we're saying is, don't be afraid to try these words out. Pick one that you like.
Or even just one that, stood out to you.
Exactly.
And just see if you can weave it into a conversation today. Maybe even make it a little game with yourself.
Yeah, I love that. See how many times you could use it naturally and, pay attention to how people react.
Yeah. See if they even notice. It'll be fun.
It will be. It'll be fun. And, as you start doing that, you'll start noticing other interesting ways that people use language.
It's like you become more aware of the nuances,
Right.
right?
Exactly. You'll start picking up on things you never noticed before. And that's what will really help you sound more natural and fluent.
It's like you're training your ear to listen in a different way.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've reached the end of our deep dive into these 22 power words. And honestly, I'm feeling really inspired. It's, like you said earlier, language is such a gift.
It is. It's how we connect with each other, share our stories.
Create art, express our emotions.
Exactly.
It's pretty amazing when you think about it.
It is. And these 22 words, they're just a small example of the power that language holds.
Yeah, it's like we've just scratched the surface.
We have. There's so much more to explore.
So keep exploring, keep learning. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. And most importantly, have fun with language.
Yes. Have fun with it.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, keep those words flowing.
Hey, everyone, and welcome back. You know how much we love to go deep here on the show.
We sure do.
And today we're going to take a deep dive into something that I think you are going to find super interesting.
Oh, yeah, this is good stuff.
This is all about how to improve your fluency when speaking English.
That's right.
And the crazy thing is it all comes down to just 22 words.
22 words. Yeah.
That's it.
Got it.
22 words to fluency. Who would have thought?
And you know what's even more amazing?
What's that?
A lot of these words are words that you probably already know.
Right. They're not big, fancy vocabulary.
Exact.
It's not like we're going to throw out some crazy SAT word.
Yeah. No.
that you've never heard of before.
Yeah, these are words that you hear all the time.
Right, exactly.
You know, the thing is, even though they're simple words, a lot of English learners don't actually use them.
That's true.
And that's what's holding them back from sounding more natural and fluent.
I see. So it's not just about knowing the words. It's about actually using them in your conversations.
Absolutely.
That makes total sense.
And that's what we're going to focus on today.
Okay, so let's dive into these 22 magical words.
Let's do it.
The first two on the list are actually and definitely.
Good ones. Yeah.
I feel like I use these words all the time without even thinking about it.
Right, me too.
But why are they considered power words?
Well, let's start with actually.
Okay.
Actually is a really cool word because you can use it to correct someone politely.
Oh, I see.
Like, let's say someone says, hey, you must love coffee. You're always drinking it.
And I'm like, actually, I can't stand coffee. I just need the caffeine to survive.
Exactly.
So it's like a gentle way of saying, you're wrong, but I'm not going to be rude about it.
Right.
I like it.
It's also a great way to add a little bit of surprise to your sentence.
Oh, like
Let's say you're telling a story and you say, and then I ran into my old friend from high school.
who I actually hadn't seen in over 10 years. Actually adds that element of surprise.
Yeah, it makes the story more interesting.
Cool. And what about
Definitely is all about certainty. It's like you're saying, I'm 100% sure about this.
So instead of just saying, yes, I'll come to your party,
You say, I will definitely be there.
which shows that I'm really serious about it
Right?
and that I'm not going to flake at the last minute.
Exactly. And that can make a big difference, especially in professional settings.
That's so true.
When you say, I will definitely finish this report by tomorrow.
It shows your boss that you're reliable.
Exactly.
You're committed.
And they can count on you.
Definitely a power word.
For sure.
Okay, so we've covered actually and definitely.
Two great words.
What's next on our list of fluency boosters?
How about maybe and probably?
Okay, so these are kind of the opposite of definitely
You could say that.
because they're all about uncertainty.
Right.
Like when you're not really sure about something,
Exactly. Like if someone invites you to a party and you don't want to commit yet,
you could say, maybe I'll come.
or I'll probably be there.
And it gives you a little wiggle room
Yeah, it keeps your options open.
and avoids any awkwardness.
Plus, it just sounds more natural than saying, I don't know.
That's a good point.
I don't know can sound a bit abrupt sometimes.
Right.
Especially in casual conversations.
So using maybe and probably is a way to soften your language.
Exactly.
I like it.
You know, a fun way to practice these words is to pay attention to how they're used in movies and TV shows.
Oh, that's a good idea.
You'll notice that native speakers use them all the time.
And it'll help you get a feel for the right context and intonation.
Yeah, it's like a free English lesson.
Awesome. Okay. Moving right along.
Let's do it.
We have, I think, and I guess.
Two more fantastic words.
These seem pretty similar to me.
They are similar, but there is a subtle difference.
Okay, fill me in.
I think is used when you have an opinion about something.
Right.
Like, I think this movie is great.
Got it.
I guess is used when you're not as sure about something.
So it's more like a speculation?
Exactly.
Like, I guess it's going to rain
So
today.
you're not really sure.
Right.
You're just making a guess based on the clouds you see.
So I think implies more confidence.
Yeah, you could say that.
And I guess is more hesitant.
Exactly.
Okay. I'm starting to see the nuances here,
It's all about the subtle shades of meaning.
which can make a big difference in how you come across in English.
For sure.
All right, let's move on to the next pair of words.
Okay.
These are all about making suggestions.
Oh, I love making suggestions.
You too.
Oh,
It's much more fun than just stating facts.
all right, exactly.
So what are these magical suggestion words?
Let's and shall we?
Let's is pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it's a simple way to invite someone to do something with you.
Like, let's go to the beach.
Or let's grab some lunch.
It's direct and enthusiastic.
And it gets the point across.
Now, what about shall we?
Shall we is a little bit more formal.
Okay.
It's still a suggestion.
But it adds a touch of politeness.
Like, shall we go for a walk in the park?
It sounds very British.
It does, doesn't it?
I like it.
It's a nice way to be polite and respectful.
Especially if you're talking to someone you don't know very well.
Right. Or someone older than you.
Makes sense.
So there you have it.
Let's and shall we?
Two powerful words for making suggestions.
And getting people to do what you want.
Well, maybe not always what you want.
But at least it's a polite way to ask.
That's true.
Awesome. So we've covered a lot of ground here.
We sure have.
We've talked about actually and definitely,
Maybe and probably.
I think, and I guess.
And let's and shall we?
These 8 words might seem simple,
but they're incredibly powerful.
They can help you sound more natural.
And you're confident.
And more fluent in English.
And that's what it's all about, right?
Absolutely.
So here's the challenge for everyone listening.
I love challenges.
Me too.
What is it?
Try to use at least one of these words in your next English conversation.
That's a great challenge.
Doesn't matter if it's with a friend, a colleague, or even a stranger.
Just try it out.
And see how it feels.
You might be surprised at how much of a difference it makes.
I bet you will.
Well, that's all the time we have for today's deep dive.
Time flies when you're having fun with fluency.
It sure does. Thanks for joining us.
And until next time, keep practicing those power words. Bye, everyone. Yeah.
Okay, so you know how we love to just dive deep into a topic?
Yeah.
So let's do it again.
Right into it.
Let's take another deep dive. And this time, we're going to focus on some basic building blocks.
Ooh, I like that.
The foundations of English fluency. For all of you out there who are tuning in to improve your English, whether you're traveling or working, or just want to feel more confident when you're chatting with folks.
Absolutely.
We have a great deep dive for you today because we're going to focus on 22 essential words.
I love this.
That every beginner should know.
It's so true.
And you know what I have to admit?
Yeah.
In getting ready for this deep dive, even I learned a thing or two.
I'm not surprised.
So I'm really excited to jump into this.
Me too.
Let's get started.
Well, you know what's really cool about these 22 words that we're going to focus on today?
Yeah.
They're not just vocabulary.
Yeah.
They're actually tools for connection.
Yeah.
We often think about language in terms of all these grammar rules and complex sentences.
I know.
But sometimes it's the simplest words that have the biggest impact.
Yeah, you know, that's so true.
Oh.
I was reading through the source material, just getting ready for this.
Yeah.
And it struck me how powerful just a simple hello can be.
It's true.
Just that one word, hello. It's like this universal signal to open a conversation.
It's that invitation to connect.
Yeah.
And it really transcends cultural boundaries and language barriers.
It does. It's so true.
It's pretty amazing.
And you know what? I think it's true for hello and goodbye and please and thank you.
Oh, for sure.
Those 4 words.
Yes.
It's almost like they're social lubricants.
They are.
Yeah.
Social lubricants that smooth out interactions and really just show respect.
Yeah, and respect is so huge.
It is.
When you're learning a new language or navigating a new culture.
Absolutely.
It's so important.
Couldn't agree more.
And you know, I really liked how our source material emphasizes practicing these words in real life.
Yes.
Because it's one thing to know them.
Right.
But it's another to really
use them.
To use them.
You got to put them out there.
Yeah, you got to put them out there.
Yeah.
You can't just
keep them in your brain.
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking of navigating social situations, our source also dives into sorry and excuse me.
Ooh, good ones.
2 words I kind of thought were interchangeable, but
I know a lot of people think that.
they're not.
Nah.
Not really? There are nuances I learned.
Tell me about them.
Okay, so sorry is more about expressing regret or taking responsibility.
Yeah.
Like if you bump into someone or you make a mistake, is more about getting someone's attention politely or like asking permission to squeeze past someone in a crowded space.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought that was interesting.
I did too. And, you know, the source material even had a little bit about how different cultures use apologies differently.
I know.
Which I just find fascinating.
It's so interesting. It is. It is because like a simple sorry can mean so many different things depending on where you are and how you say it.
It's all about context.
It is all about context.
Yeah.
So let's move on to 2 words that I think are essential for any traveler or anyone in a new environment.
Love it.
Help and stop.
Oh, 2 very important words.
Very important words.
Yeah.
They're like your lifeline.
Seriously.
If you need help or you need something to stop.
Right then and there.
You need immediate assistance.
It's exactly.
So very important.
You know, I actually had a personal experience that shows just how crucial knowing help and stop can be.
Oh, really?
I was traveling in, I don't remember where, but I was definitely in a foreign country, and I accidentally left my bag on a bus. Oh, it was awful. And I had my passport in there and everything. And in that moment of panic, all I could remember was to shout, "Stop." And thankfully, someone understood me and helped me retrieve my bag.
That's amazing.
It was amazing.
Wow.
And it really just drove home the importance of knowing these basic words.
Yeah.
Even if your grammar isn't perfect.
Exactly.
You can still get your point across.
That's a great story.
Thanks.
So speaking of travel,
Yes.
our source material also points out
Mm-hmm.
that how much and where is
Oh, yeah.
are so important for navigating new places.
They really are.
Think about it if you can ask those two questions
Yeah.
independently.
Uh-huh.
How much freedom
So much freedom.
and confidence
Yeah.
that gives you when you're exploring.
It changes everything.
It does.
Yeah. It's huge.
It is, you go from being a passive observer to an active participant.
I love that.
Right.
Sam.
You're not relying on someone else to translate or guide you.
Right.
You're actually taking charge of your experience.
Yes. And interacting with the world around you,
I love that.
it's really empowering.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot of words,
We have.
but our source material doesn't just give us a list of words.
Right.
They actually give us a sample conversation
Oh, that's great.
that uses many of these 22 words in a real-life scenario.
I love that.
And it's such a good way to see
Yeah.
how these seemingly simple words all come together to form a real interaction.
It's like putting all the pieces together.
Yeah.
You see how these words can flow naturally in a conversation.
Yeah.
And it gives you like a blueprint
Uh-huh.
for how you can start using them yourself.
Exactly. And that brings us to our final thought for you today.
Okay, I'm ready.
So we've explored these 22 essential words as building blocks
Yes.
for fluency.
Uh-huh.
And it just proves that these small steps lead to big progress.
Absolutely.
But here's the challenge.
Okay.
Pick just 3
Okay.
of these 22 words
3 words.
and make a conscious effort to use them throughout your day.
Love it.
Just see how it feels. Notice the reactions you get,
Yeah.
and most importantly, have fun with it.
Yes.
Every interaction is a chance to practice and build your confidence.
That's a great challenge.
So thanks for joining us on another deep dive,
My pleasure.
and we'll see you next time.
Bye. All right. Let's dive into some advanced English idioms today. If you're listening to this, you're probably looking to seriously level up your English speaking, and we've got some great stuff to share with you today.
Absolutely.
We're going through this script. It's from another English idiom podcast, and it's got 19 of them. We're going to go through each one and really just dissect it, and by the end of this, you'll be sounding so natural, so native.
Like you were born speaking English.
Exactly, yeah. So the first one that I thought was interesting was play devil's advocate. I don't know, just that concept of playing devil's advocate, it seems kind of, I don't know, contradictory almost.
Yeah, well, it's about being deliberately taking a position you don't necessarily agree with just to kind of stimulate conversation
Yeah,
and explore all sides of an issue.
it's like a mental exercise almost, right?
Yeah,
Like a pre-mortem for an idea.
yeah, that's a good way to put it.
So you're trying to find the weaknesses before they become real problems.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, cool. So how about this one? This one I've definitely run into before, the elephant in the room.
Oh, yeah.
This one is pretty common. I feel like most people know this one, but I think it's worth exploring.
Yeah, it's a good one. You know, that refers to that obvious problem that everyone's trying to ignore.
Right, and it's so awkward too, right? It's
Yeah.
like everybody can feel it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like when you walk into a room and you just feel like something's off,
Yeah,
but nobody's saying anything.
exactly. It's palpable.
Yeah, so awkward.
Yeah.
Okay, this is an important one in today's world.
Yes.
Take with a grain of salt. I feel like with so much information out there, and especially online, it's hard to know what to believe.
Yeah, that's very true.
Like you have to filter things, you have to consider the source, you have to look for bias, all of that.
You really do, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very discerning approach to taking in information, you know. It's recognizing that not everything is as it appears.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to question things a little bit.
I feel like the rise of sensationalized headlines and clickbait and all of that
Oh, yeah.
has made this idiom even more important than ever.
Absolutely, yeah, where it's designed to elicit an emotional reaction rather than,
Yeah.
present you with the facts and let you come to a conclusion.
Right, right. So I like this one too. This one paints such a vivid picture, a flash in the pan.
That's a good one, yeah.
So this is something that, bursts onto the scene. There's a lot of hype.
It has that promise.
It has that promise, yeah.
And then disappears just as quickly.
Right, like those viral trends,
Oh, yeah.
where everybody's obsessed for like a week and then poof, gone.
Yeah, or that friend who, starts all these new hobbies with such passion and enthusiasm, but then, a month later they've moved on to something else.
Yeah, yeah.
Their passion for, pottery was just a flash in the pan.
Right, they're chasing the next shiny object.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, so the tip of the iceberg.
Oh, this is a great one, yeah.
So this idiom really emphasizes that what you see on the surface
Is not the whole story.
is not the whole story. There's so much more going on beneath.
Exactly. There's that hidden depth,
Right.
the complexity that's not immediately apparent.
It's like that saying, there's more to this story than meets the eye, right?
Exactly.
Makes me think of those true crime documentaries where they start with like a seemingly simple case, and then as they kind of unravel these different layers, it just gets more and more intricate.
Yeah, the more you peel back, the more you realize how much more there is.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Wow, this is fascinating stuff. All right, well, I think we need to take a break here. We've already covered some really, really powerful idioms.
We have, yeah.
But don't worry, we've got plenty more to unpack, so we'll be right back after a quick break to dive even deeper.
Sounds good.
All right, let's jump back into these advanced English idioms. We've got a lot more to cover.
We do.
Okay, so how about this one? Cut someone some slack. This is all about being understanding, right?
Yeah. Everyone makes mistakes and everyone's going through stuff, so it's about giving people the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, like we don't always know what's going on in somebody's life.
Right.
So we should try to be understanding and give them a little bit of grace.
Exactly.
Okay, how about this one? This one sounds a little bit more challenging.
It does, yeah.
Sink or swim. I feel like this idiom really captures those situations where you're just thrown into the deep end.
Yeah, no support. You're on your own. Figure it out.
Exactly. And you either rise to the occasion or you sink.
Yeah.
It's a trial by fire, kind of.
It is, yeah. It can be a little harsh, but it can also be a good learning experience.
Yeah, like those entrepreneurs who launch their own businesses with no prior experience.
Oh, absolutely.
Talk about a sink or swim situation.
Oh, yeah, they really have to adapt quickly.
They have to learn on the fly.
Yeah.
Develop that resilience, that grit.
Yeah.
I like this one. A hard pill to swallow. This idiom always makes me think of those moments where you just have to accept a difficult truth.
Yeah, and it's not easy.
It's not easy.
It's a moment of realization, that kind of gut punch where you realize things have changed.
You can't ignore it anymore.
Yeah.
It's like ripping off a Band-Aid.
Mm-hmm. It stings at first,
Yeah.
but then you can start to heal.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay, here's one that I think a lot of people can relate to. Hit the ceiling.
Oh, yeah, this is a good one.
I can especially see this one being used in those high-pressure work environments, like when that big project goes off the rails and everyone's stressed out trying to fix things.
Or someone makes a careless mistake.
Oh, yeah.
That costs the company a lot of money. Someone might hit the ceiling.
That boss is going to hit the ceiling for sure.
Definitely.
Yeah. Okay, this idiom evokes a sense of calm for me.
It does, yeah.
Water under the bridge. I really like the imagery of this one. Like those past conflicts or problems, they're just gone. They're irrelevant now.
Yeah, let go of the grudges.
Focus on the present.
Move on.
Exactly. Like, hey, we messed up, we argued, but let's not let that define our relationship moving forward.
Yeah, exactly. It's in the past now.
It's water under the bridge.
Yeah.
Okay, jump ship. This one sounds a little bit more, I don't know, like you're running away from something.
It does, yeah. A little bit avoidant, maybe.
Avoidant, yeah.
It's about making a quick exit.
Like abandoning a sinking ship.
Exactly. Sometimes it's necessary.
Yeah.
Like if you're in a toxic work environment or a relationship that's no longer serving you, sometimes you have to jump ship.
Sometimes you got to jump ship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, keep your cards close to your chest.
Ooh, this is a good one.
This one sounds like something you'd hear in a spy movie or something.
It does. A little bit of mystery.
A little bit of mystery, a little bit of strategy.
Strategy, definitely.
Don't want to reveal your plans too early.
Exactly. Got to maintain that element of surprise.
Keep them guessing. It makes me think of those poker games where everybody's trying to read each other.
Oh, yeah. High stakes.
High stakes, yeah. Figure out who's bluffing, who's got the winning hand.
Absolutely.
All about strategy.
Yeah.
Man, we've covered some really interesting idioms today.
We have.
I feel like I've learned a lot, but I'm a little intimidated to start using them. I don't know. They seem kind of advanced.
Yeah, well, I think the key is practice and exposure. Think of it like learning a new dance move. You're not just going to jump onto the dance floor and just nail it perfectly the first time. You have to practice.
Right.
Watch others. Gradually build up your confidence.
Yeah, so maybe I should start paying closer attention to how these idioms are used in, like, movies, TV shows, even just in casual conversations.
Yeah, train your ear to recognize them and understand the subtle ways that they're used to convey meaning. Don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Right.
That's how we learn.
Maybe I'll try using them with my friends first,
Oh, yeah, that's a great idea. Low stakes.
Yeah.
Test run.
Yeah.
Your friends will probably get a kick out of it too.
Yeah, hopefully.
But remember, context is key. You wouldn't wear a ball gown to a casual backyard barbecue.
Right.
You wouldn't use a formal idiom in a really relaxed setting.
Right.
So be mindful of the tone, the audience, make sure the idiom fits the situation.
Like choosing the right spice, huh?
Exactly, yeah. Too much and it just overpowers the flavors. Just the right amount. You add that complexity and depth.
Yeah, I like that. All right. Well, is there one idiom that you think would be good for our listeners to try using this week?
Well, given all the challenges we face in life, I think weather the storm is particularly relevant.
Oh, I like that one.
It's a good reminder that we have the strength to endure difficult times and come out stronger on the other side.
It's a great reminder.
Yeah.
So to all of our listeners out there, we challenge you to use weather the storm in a conversation this week.
You got this.
Yeah. And hopefully by using this idiom, maybe you can even inspire somebody else.
That'd be great.
That's it for this deep dive.
Yeah, it's been fun.
Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you on the next one.
See you then. Okay, so have you ever totally bombed a joke
Oh,
because you used the wrong idiom?
yeah.
I did just the other day. I tried to be funny with pull someone's leg, and let's just say it did not land.
Yeah.
I need to brush up on my idioms.
It happens. Idioms are tricky. They can make you sound super fluent or totally clueless,
Right.
depending on how you use them.
Exactly. Which is why I have a stack of notes here all about common idioms.
Okay.
Especially for someone like you learning English. We're going to extract the most useful ones.
All right.
The kind that will really boost your everyday conversations. Ready to dive in?
Absolutely. Idioms are like secret codes to sounding like a native speaker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's start with idioms all about taking action.
Right.
I feel like these are essential for navigating any situation, whether it's at work with friends or even just ordering food.
Yeah.
First up, cut to the chase.
Ah, yes. Cut to the chase. No time for small talk.
Right.
You want to get straight to the point. Imagine you're watching a movie and skip ahead to the most exciting part. That's cutting to the chase.
So instead of saying something like, well, I was thinking maybe we could,
Right.
you just say, let's cut to the chase. What's the plan?
Exactly. It shows you're confident and efficient, which people always appreciate. I bet you could have used that in that meeting last week.
Oh,
That just dragged on and on.
tell me about it. We could have saved so much time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, next up, throw in the towel.
This one is all about admitting defeat. Think of a boxer who's just not going to win.
Okay.
His coach throws in the towel to stop the fight.
Right.
Sometimes you have to recognize when a battle is lost,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're working on a project and it's just not happening,
Right.
no matter how hard you try, maybe it's time to throw in the towel and focus your energy elsewhere.
It's not about giving up entirely. It's about being smart and knowing when to move on to something more productive. Have you ever been in that situation?
Definitely. I think we all have. Sometimes it's a relief to throw in the towel.
Yeah.
And admit it's just not working. Okay, last one in this taking action category.
Okay.
The ball is in your court.
This one is like a tennis match. When the ball is on your side of the net, it's your turn to hit it back. It's your responsibility to make the next move.
So let's say you and a friend are making plans,
Yeah.
and you've done all the research, found the flights, booked the hotel.
Yeah.
Now it's up to your friend to decide if they're in or out. You could say, okay, the ball is in your court. What do you think?
Exactly. You've done your part. Now it's their turn.
Okay.
Speaking of taking responsibility,
Yeah.
our next set of idioms is all about perseverance and attitude,
Yeah.
starting with face the music.
Ooh, that one sounds a little intense.
Well, it's about accepting the consequences of your actions,
Okay.
even if they're not so pleasant. Like if you made a mistake at work and now you have to explain yourself to your boss,
Oh, yeah.
no escaping it, you have to face the music.
So it's like own up to what happened and deal with it, right? No running away, no making excuses.
Exactly. It's about taking responsibility and learning from the experience.
Mm-hmm.
It can be tough, but it's an important part of growth.
Yeah.
Speaking of bouncing back from tough situations,
Okay.
the next idiom is keep your chin up.
That one seems pretty straightforward, right? Stay positive even when things get tough.
Yes, but think about it physically. Keeping your chin up literally means holding your head high.
Oh.
It's a physical reminder to stay strong and resilient,
Wow.
even when you feel like giving up.
I never thought of it like that.
Yeah,
Like your body is giving your mind a pep talk.
exactly.
Okay, last one in this set of perseverance idioms is leave no stone unturned.
This one means to be completely thorough in your search for something.
Okay.
Like a detective solving a case, they check every clue, every lead. They leave no stone unturned.
So if you have a goal you're really passionate about,
Right.
and you're willing to try every possible way to achieve it, you could say you're leaving no stone unturned.
Precisely. It's about that relentless pursuit of what you want,
Yeah.
that determination to explore every avenue. Now, speaking of pursuing something,
Okay.
let's move on to a group of idioms all about communication and understanding.
Perfect. I feel like these are key to navigating social situations,
Yeah.
especially in a new language. First up, we have read between the lines.
This one is all about understanding the hidden messages,
Okay.
the things that aren't said directly.
Uh-huh.
Imagine someone says they're fine, but their tone of voice and body language tell a different story.
Right.
You have to read between the lines to get the real message.
So it's like being a detective of emotions.
Yes.
Looking for clues beyond just the words themselves.
Exactly. It's about understanding the subtext, the context,
Yeah.
the unspoken feelings behind what's being said. This is especially important in relationships and delicate situations, wouldn't you say?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Sometimes what's not said is just as important as what I said.
That's true.
Okay, moving on to hit the nail on the head.
This means to say something that is perfectly accurate
Okay.
and get straight to the heart of the matter. Like a carpenter hitting a nail with one perfect swing, there's no missing the mark.
So if you're giving feedback on a project and you pinpoint the exact problem that needs to be addressed,
Yeah.
you could say you hit the nail on the head.
Yes, it's about expressing yourself with clarity and precision, leaving no room for doubt. Okay, last one in this communication trio, beat around the bush.
This one seems like the opposite of cut to the chase.
Right?
Like instead of being direct, you're kind of avoiding the main point.
Exactly. Imagine you have to tell someone some bad news,
Okay.
but you don't want to hurt their feelings.
Right.
So you kind of dance around the topic instead of just coming right out and saying it. That's beating around the bush,
It's like you're circling around the issue without ever really addressing it directly.
which can be frustrating for the person you're talking to.
Yeah.
Sometimes a little directness, even if it's uncomfortable, can save everyone a lot of time and misunderstanding. Now, speaking of situations that can sometimes be uncomfortable,
Okay.
our next set of idioms is all about unexpected outcomes.
Okay, this is getting interesting. I love how these idioms are all connected.
Yeah.
So what's the first one in this unexpected outcomes category?
It's jump on the bandwagon. This one captures that human tendency to follow trends,
Okay.
to join in when something becomes popular or successful.
Like when a new song comes out and suddenly everyone's listening to it.
Yeah.
Or maybe a new social media platform takes off and all your friends are using it.
Exactly. It can be harmless fun to jump on the bandwagon. But it's also important to think for yourself and not just follow the crowd blindly.
Right.
Wouldn't you agree?
Totally.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's good to be a little bit of contrarian.
Okay, what's next?
This one is a classic, a blessing in disguise.
Okay.
It's about those times when something that seems bad at first actually turns out to be a good thing in the long run.
Like if you lose your job, which is obviously a bummer.
But then you end up finding an even better one
Right.
that you're more passionate about.
Exactly. A blessing in disguise. It reminds us that there's often a silver lining to difficult situations, even if we can't see it at the time. Have you ever had one of those blessings in disguise moments?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
It's amazing how often what seems like a setback
Yeah.
ends up leading to something even better.
Ah,
Okay, last one in this category.
okay.
Let sleeping dogs lie. This one always makes me think of a big lazy dog that you just don't want to disturb.
It's a perfect image. This idiom means to avoid stirring up trouble or bringing up past conflicts that are best left alone. Like if you and a friend had an argument a while back and you've both moved on,
Yeah.
it's probably best to let sleeping dogs lie and not bring it up again.
Sometimes it's just not worth rehashing old arguments,
Right.
especially if they're just going to lead to more negativity.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we have time for one more set of idioms.
Okay.
Before we wrap up this section of our deep dive. What do we got?
This last group is all about going above and beyond, putting in that extra effort to achieve something special. And I think you'll appreciate this first one, bite off more than you can chew.
Ooh, I know that feeling. Well, I'm definitely guilty of taking on too much sometimes.
It happens to the best of us. It's like taking a huge bite of food and then realizing you can't actually chew it all.
Right.
You end up feeling overwhelmed and stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's about being realistic about your capacity and not overcommitting yourself to things you can't handle.
Exactly. It's important to know your limits and set boundaries so you don't end up feeling burnt out and discouraged.
Right.
Speaking of pushing yourself to the limit, the next idiom is burn the midnight oil.
This one makes me think of those late night study sessions.
Yeah.
Fueled by coffee and a sheer will to
Oh.
finish a project.
It's about working late into the night, sacrificing sleep to get something done.
Okay.
Back in the day, people would literally burn oil lamps to light their workspace when they had to work late.
So it's about dedication and that willingness to put in the extra hours, even if it means missing out on some sleep.
It's a testament to that drive and determination that often leads to success.
Right.
Okay, last one in this set, and I think it's a perfect way to wrap up this section on going above and beyond.
Right.
Go the extra mile.
I love this one.
Yeah.
It's about exceeding expectations, doing more than what's required,
Yeah.
putting in that extra effort that really makes a difference.
Exactly. Think of a marathon runner who, instead of stopping at the finish line, keeps running just a little bit further.
Wow.
It's that extra effort, that dedication to excellence that sets them apart.
Go the extra mile.
Yeah.
It's a great motto for life in general, don't you think?
Absolutely. It's about striving for excellence in everything you do and always looking for ways to exceed expectations. Now, before we move on to the next section,
Okay.
there's one idiom we wanted to revisit, one that can be a bit tricky
Okay.
and often leads to misunderstandings. You're talking about pull someone's leg, right?
Yeah. I totally fumbled that one earlier.
That's the one. It means to playfully tease someone, to joke with them, but it's all about tone and context. If you don't deliver it right, it can easily be misinterpreted.
Yeah, I think the person I was talking to thought I was actually trying to trick them, not just being silly.
Yeah.
What's the secret to using this idiom correctly?
Well, first of all, make sure you have a good rapport with the person you're joking with.
Okay.
You wouldn't want to pull someone's leg if you don't know them well,
Right.
or if they're easily offended.
Right. You have to read the room and make sure it's appropriate.
And then it's all about your delivery.
Okay.
A playful smile, a wink, a lighthearted tone of voice. These can all help to signal that you're just joking.
So it's not just about the words themselves, it's about the whole vibe you're giving off.
Right.
It's like a secret code that only works if you know the handshake.
Exactly. Pull someone's leg is a perfect example of how mastering idioms goes beyond just knowing the definition. You have to understand the cultural nuances and the unspoken rules of communication.
Great point.
Yeah.
Okay, to make sure we've really got a handle on all these awesome idioms,
Yeah.
let's try putting them into practice.
Yeah.
I was thinking we could role play a little scenario,
All right.
like we're having a real conversation. What do you think?
I'm game. Let's do it.
Okay, here's the scene. Two friends are catching up, and one of them has just quit their job.
Okay.
I'll be friend A, and you be friend B.
Ready?
Ready when you are.
All right, here we go. Hey, I heard you quit your job. What happened? Don't leave me hanging.
Well, things were rough. My boss was a real piece of work, and I just couldn't keep my chin up anymore. I had to throw in the towel.
Wow, that's tough. But you know what? Sometimes those things are a blessing in disguise.
Yeah.
You never know what amazing opportunities might be waiting for you.
You're right. I'm trying to stay positive. For now, I'm just going to hit the ground running on my new project and see where it takes me. See, we just used a bunch of idioms supernaturally
Right.
without even thinking about it.
Exactly. That's how you know you're starting to really master them. They
Yeah.
become part of your everyday vocabulary.
So to our listener, imagine yourself in this situation. Could you see yourself using these idioms to express yourself?
Absolutely.
I bet you can.
The more you practice, the more confident you'll become. And pretty soon you'll be hitting the nail on the head with your idiom usage every time.
I love it. Well, I think we've covered a lot of ground today, explored some really useful idioms that can help you sound more fluent and confident in your English conversations.
Absolutely.
But before we go, I wanted to touch on one more idiom that I think is perfect
Okay.
for sparking conversations and getting people to open up.
Ooh, I'm intrigued. Which one is it?
It's a penny for your thoughts.
Yeah.
I love how simple and yet so effective this one is.
Yeah.
It's a gentle way of asking someone what they're thinking about, inviting them to share their inner world.
It's such a lovely expression, isn't it? It shows genuine interest in the other person.
Right.
And creates a space for them to share what's on their mind.
Exactly. And it's not literally about offering money, of course.
Yeah.
It's about acknowledging that someone's thoughts and feelings are valuable
Yes.
and worth listening to.
It's like saying, I'm curious about what's going on in that mind of yours. I'd love to hear your perspective.
It's a great way to build rapport and encourage deeper conversations. Now, speaking of deep conversations, I was thinking we could wrap up this deep dive
Okay.
with a final thought-provoking question for our listener. Something to really get them thinking
Okay.
about how they can apply these idioms to their own lives.
I love that idea. What do you have in mind?
Well, out of all the idioms we discussed today,
Okay.
which one resonated with you the most? And in what situation do you think you'll use it first?
That's a great question. It encourages our listener to not just passively absorb the information, but to actively think about how they can integrate these idioms.
Into their own communication style.
Exactly. Learning a language is all about making it your own.
Yeah.
Finding those expressions that really speak to you and using them to connect with others.
And remember, don't be afraid to experiment, to play with these idioms to make them your own.
Right.
That's how you truly master a language and make it come alive.
Beautifully said. Well, that brings us to the end of our deep dive into essential idioms.
Yes.
I hope you've enjoyed this journey as much as we have and that you're feeling inspired to go out there and use these idioms to boost your conversational fluency and connect with the world in a whole new way.
And as you continue on your language learning adventure, remember to embrace the process.
Right.
Have fun with it and never stop exploring the richness and beauty of the English language.
I think for me, it's a blessing in disguise. It's like such a good reminder that even when things go wrong,
Yeah.
something good can come out of it.
It's a great one to keep in mind, especially when you're feeling discouraged.
It helps you see the possibilities even in challenging situations.
Well, I think we really hit the nail on the head
Yeah.
with this deep dive into essential idioms. We've explored so many useful phrases,
We have.
and I feel like you, our listener, are well on your way to mastering them.
It's been a pleasure unpacking these idioms with you. They really are the key to unlocking a whole new level of fluency and expressiveness in English.
And remember, the best way to learn is to just start using them.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to experiment. Have fun with it.
Exactly.
And see how these idioms can enrich your everyday conversations.
The more you practice, the more natural they'll become.
Right.
And soon you'll be using them effortlessly without even thinking about it.
So to our listener, we hope this deep dive has been helpful and inspiring.
Absolutely.
Keep practicing, keep exploring, and most importantly, keep having fun with the English language.
And remember, as you go out there and try these idioms in the real world, if you ever need a refresher, we're always here for you. Just dive back into this episode and let those idioms fly.
Hey everyone, ready for today's deep dive? We're going to be tackling idioms, and I'm so excited.
Yeah, idioms. They can be tough to learn, but
They really do add, well, like color and personality to your English, you know? Like it's raining cats and dogs, but obviously there aren't actually any animals falling from the sky.
right. And that's what makes idioms so interesting. They go beyond just the literal meaning of the words. They can express feelings and like paint a picture in your mind.
Exactly. And once you understand them, using them confidently just makes you sound so much more natural. It's like you've leveled up your English.
It really is.
So today we're diving into 19 everyday English idioms to help you all sound more like a native speaker.
I can't wait to get started.
Okay, let's kick things off with a pretty simple idiom. A piece of cake. Now, I do love cake, but I have a feeling this isn't about dessert.
You're right. It's not about dessert. It just means that something is super easy to do, like, enjoying a piece of cake. It's a breeze.
So, like, that math problem was a piece of cake. Got it. But why cake? Is there a reason we use cake to express that something's easy?
Well, it's interesting, right? I mean, cake is like associated with celebrations and good times. It's enjoyable, so it makes sense that we'd use it to represent something pleasant and easy.
I guess that makes sense. Okay, next up is break a leg. Now, this one always sounds kind of ominous to me. Are we wishing someone an injury?
Haha. No, it's actually a way of wishing someone good luck, like right before a performance or a big event.
Oh, okay, good. But why would we use such a negative-sounding phrase?
Well, there are a few theories. One is that it comes from theatrical superstitions. Some say that if you bow to the audience after a good show, people might surge forward and you could, like, break a leg.
Huh. So it's like tempting fate in a way?
Maybe. But it's always meant to be encouraging, not a real threat.
Okay, so break a leg for good luck. I'm starting to see how idioms can add so much depth to our language.
They do. They're packed with cultural references and history, and sometimes a bit of humor, too.
Right. All right, on to the next one. Under the weather. This one always sounds a bit vague to me. Does it literally mean being caught in a storm?
Well, no, not literally. It just means you're not feeling well. Like maybe you have a cold or a headache.
So it's a polite way of saying you're a little sick without giving all the gory details.
Exactly. And, it's a common way to excuse yourself from something if you're not feeling up to it.
Right. I've definitely used that one myself. Now, what if you're under the weather and need to get some rest? Well, you might hit the sack early, but this makes me think of someone attacking their bed.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's a funny image, isn't it? But it just means to go to bed.
Oh, okay. Much less violent than I imagined.
It's a pretty informal way of saying goodnight.
Got it.
Yeah.
So let's say you had a long day, you're feeling a little under the weather, and you're ready to hit the sack. But first, you might call it a day. Does that mean, like, giving the day a name?
No, not quite. Call it a day means to stop working on something, to wrap things up.
So you're done for the day.
Right. Whether it's work, school, or even just a personal project, you've put in the effort, now it's time to relax.
Makes sense. So we've just decoded 5 pretty common English idioms. How are you feeling? Ready to try some of these out?
Hopefully they're starting to feel a bit more familiar now.
Me too. But don't worry, we've got a whole bunch more to go. Next, we'll explore idioms you might hear when making plans or dealing with those sometimes awkward social situations. Stay tuned.
This is where things get really fun. Idioms can tell us a lot about a culture's social norms and how people interact.
I can't wait. Okay, let's jump into some idioms you might hear, well, when you're making plans or just, navigating those tricky social situations.
Right. These are the phrases that can really help you understand how people interact, the unspoken rules of communication.
Okay, I like that. First up is hang in there. It sounds like advice you'd give to someone hanging off a cliff, but...
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? But no cliffs involved.
Okay, good. So what does it really mean?
It means to stay strong, Don't give up, persevere. It's encouragement, like you're telling someone they can get through a tough time.
So it's like a verbal pat on the back.
Exactly.
I like it. Now, for once in a blue moon, this one makes me think of like a rare astronomical event. Am I close?
You are. It means something that happens very rarely, like I only eat pizza once in a blue moon. It just emphasizes how infrequently you do something.
Oh, so it's about those rare treats or occurrences. Okay, got it. Okay, this next one sounds a bit, juicy. Spill the beans. Does this involve any actual beans?
Haha, no, unless we're talking about top secret recipes or something. Spill the beans means to reveal a secret.
Okay, so it's like letting information slip out.
Exactly, sometimes unintentionally, yeah.
So like, oops, I wasn't supposed to say that. Which brings us to let the cat out of the bag, which also seems to be about secrets.
Yeah, it is. It means the same thing. You've accidentally revealed a secret. It's just another way of saying, spill the beans.
So 2 ways to say the same thing. I'll try not to get them mixed up. Now, this one sounds kind of dramatic. Cost an arm and a leg? Are we like talking about pirate negotiations here?
No pirates. It just means that something is really, really expensive.
Oh, so it's a way of expressing like shock at a high price. Like, that car costs an arm and a leg.
Right, a much more colorful way of saying that something's too expensive.
I like it. Okay, I'm feeling more confident about navigating these social situations with these idioms. But what about like those phrases we use in everyday conversations? The ones that just kind of pop up all the time.
Yeah, those are the idioms that you really start using without even thinking about it. Like second nature, they're everywhere.
Okay, let's hit the books and explore those. Does this one mean to actually throw books around?
Only if you're really frustrated with your studies.
Okay, good. So what does it really mean?
It just means to study, to focus on your schoolwork.
A more exciting way to say study, I guess. Okay, now for a pretty simple one, take it easy. Is it really as straightforward as it sounds?
Pretty much. It means to relax, don't get stressed. It's like, chill out, don't take things too seriously.
Good advice. Okay, next. The ball is in your court. Are we playing tennis now?
Sort of. It means it's your turn to make a decision or take action. You have the responsibility to move things forward.
So if someone says the ball is in your court, they're waiting for me to respond.
Exactly. They've done their part. Now it's up to you.
Okay, I get it. Now for one that doesn't sound too pleasant, bite the bullet.
Yeah, not the most pleasant image.
So what does it mean?
It means to do something difficult or unpleasant that you've been avoiding, like facing a challenge head on.
Oh, so like just do it, even if you don't want to. Okay, I can handle that. And last one for this section, feeling blue. Is this like a fashion choice?
Haha, no. It means feeling sad or depressed.
Ah, okay, so it's a way of expressing sadness.
Exactly, like, I'm feeling a bit blue today.
All right, we've covered a lot of ground here with these everyday idioms. I'm starting to feel like I could actually use these without sounding like a total weirdo.
That's the goal. The more you use them, the more natural they'll become.
You're right. Okay, are you ready for the final challenge?
Absolutely.
Let's explore some idioms that are perfect for, well, ending a conversation smoothly. Those graceful exits can be tricky sometimes.
They can, but a well-placed idiom can definitely help.
Okay, so graceful exits. I'm ready to master the art of saying goodbye smoothly.
It is an art, isn't it? Let's see if these idioms can help.
Perfect.
Okay, how about this one? Pull someone's leg. Sounds a bit mischievous, right?
Yeah, it does. Like I'm imagining someone literally pulling on someone's leg as a joke.
Haha. Well, it's not quite that literal. It just means to joke with someone. In a playful way, to tease a bit.
Oh, so like if someone tells a story that's hard to believe, you could say, "Are you pulling my leg?"
Exactly, you're catching on quickly.
I'm trying. Okay, what about keep an eye on? Does that mean like I'm spying on someone?
Well, not necessarily spying. It just means to watch over something or someone carefully.
So it could be literal, like can you keep an eye on my stuff?
Right.
Or more figurative.
Right. Like keep an eye on that situation. It just means to pay attention.
Okay, got it. Now let's say I'm ready to hit the road. Does that mean I'm going on a road trip?
Not necessarily, though it would be fun. It just means to leave, to depart.
Oh, so it's a more casual way of saying goodbye.
Exactly. Time to hit the road.
All right, last idiom for today, no pain, no gain. I feel like this one's about like working out, pushing yourself at the gym.
You're right. It often is used in that context, but it really means that, to achieve something, you have to put in the effort. There's going to be some struggle involved.
So it's not just physical pain. It can be any kind of challenge.
Right. If you want to reach your goals, sometimes you have to push through some discomfort.
I like that. It's motivating. Well, we've learned a lot today. 19 idioms in total, right?
That's right. A whole arsenal of new expressions.
I have to say, I feel a lot more confident about using these in my own conversations.
That's fantastic. That's what we wanted to achieve. Language is about expressing yourself and connecting with others.
Absolutely. And idioms can really help with that.
They really can. What did you find most interesting about today's deep dive?
I think what really stood out to me is how much history and culture are packed into these seemingly simple phrases.
That's so true. They're like little windows into how people think and communicate.
Exactly. And using them correctly can make you sound more natural and fluent.
Definitely. So keep practicing, keep exploring, and have fun with these idioms.
I will. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive.
It was my pleasure.
That's all for today, everyone. Thanks for listening.